Good morning, welcome to Planet Mojo. Today I'm going to show you how I use this XPS insulation as both a vapor barrier and as insulation. And how I'm going to do that is by attaching this XPS foam to the studs on this wall, kind of like you would a plastic vapor barrier. This is going away after a little while. I'll be attaching this with these plastic cap nails and glue. Let me show you the glue. Special glue. It is PL300 Foamboard Glue. So I'll get that on the studs, get the foam board in place, and then put as many of these plastic cap nails as I need to hold it nice and secure to the glue while the glue dries. The foam board adhesive works really well, so once that takes effect, these aren't going to do all that much. But anyways, as I'm putting it up, I'll leave gaps. I want to leave about a 1/4 inch gap. At the bottom, I'm going to do a 1/2 inch gap just because the floor kind of goes up and down. It'll end up being a 1/4 inch in some places and a little less in others, and some places it might be about a 1/2 inch. Well, it will at both ends. So we'll have the foam attached to the studs with gaps all the way around. Then we're going to go around and fill all the gaps with expanding foam. After that's all done, the entire wall is going to get covered with tongue and groove 3/4 inch plywood. So the perm value, which is how permeable the wall is going to be, I don't know, probably a little less than 1. I believe like 6 mil plastic is 0. This is 3 mil plastic, so it'll probably be about the same as this plastic here. Either way, it really doesn't matter. This is a wood shop. I don't produce any moisture in here. There will be a sink, but there's no showers or running water or doing dishes or anything like that, cooking. There's going to be very little humidity in here to start with, so that'll be plenty of vapor barrier for this situation. I don't know where you need more than that to start with, except maybe in the deep south. You would need a real heavy plastic on outside because it's always real humid and your insulation would get real damp from that. But around here, it's less humid on the inside than it is on the outside. Well, let me show you that. We have 74% humidity up in the attic, which is about what it is outside right now. And we have 29% humidity in here, and that's going to go down. Once I have all the wood and stuff in here, the humidity level in here is going to be really low. So I'm going to snap a chalk line at 48.5 inches. Then we'll put the glue on, get a panel in place, and get going with this. Okay, I got the first panel in. This one is loose. I got it in and I screwed up already. What I did was get it in place, and then I shimmed up this end and then went down to the other end and got that shimmed up, and then I started nailing it on that end. But what I didn't know was that it shifted this way a little bit, or actually a lot. I wanted it to be like right here, so it's probably 3/8 of an inch off. So I'm not going to be able to get foam in between there. So what I'm going to do, and we did this on the house as well, is foam these together. I'll put a bead of foam along this and then push this one in tight up against it and then get this one in. I trim this one, probably a 1/2 inch off of it. Now I'll be able to get that gap on this one. So I'm going to get this one in, and then I will show you the entire panel on the next one. Okay, 2 panels down, and I ran into a problem. It's not with the panels. Those are going in really well. I'll show you that seam and stuff in just a little bit. The problem is the amount of glue I have. When I got this glue, I thought I got 3 of these, and there's only 2 here. I have a landscape adhesive in the house. I had these in the house. I think the landscape adhesive was in the box with this stuff, and when I bought this, I grabbed that landscape adhesive along with this stuff. So I am going to run out of glue. It looks like I used 1/3 of a tube on each panel. Looks like I have about 1/3 left. So I'm hoping I can get 1 more panel on there. That'll take me all the way over to the door. Then I'm going to leave them sides alone for now. The next row is half panels, and it doesn't have the bottom to glue. It just has these strips here. So yeah, I can get way far on this before I'm going to have to go get glue, but I will have to go get glue. So I'm going to put this next one in and show you what I'm doing, and then we'll continue on this until we run out of glue. The plastic caps, I used, I'm going to say about half a box on 2 panels. So that would be 4 panels per box. I have 3 boxes, so that's 12 panels altogether. Let's count this. We have 3, 4, 8, 12. Yeah, that's right at how many I'm going to need. So I'll get some more of the foam board adhesive and 1 more box of the plastic caps. Probably won't need it, but I don't want to be running to town yet again. Okay, let's get this panel in. Alright, first thing I do is kind of set the panel in place and see how it's going to go. This comes to about the center of this stud here, so I got to put the glue on the edge of that one. I'll get this out of the way for now. I guess we'll go this way. I don't want to lean it on any of this wet foam here. So oops, got the screw in there. Yeah, the temptation is to skimp on the glue because I don't have enough, but that's not what's going to happen. We need a decent 1/4 inch bead. It's looking a little wider because I'm spreading it, but that's pretty much a 1/4 inch bead. And we want this on every stud. Hopefully it's at exactly the end of this tube, but I'm thinking I might have to jump onto the next tube. Getting close. Once I get all of these studs, I have to go all the way back on the bottom as well, so I think it's right near the end. I am so glad that I have these built-in knee pads. These are Duluth work pants. They are definitely the best work pants I've ever had. They're expensive, but knees are expensive as well. It looks like it's just gonna make it. Oh yeah, right at the end. Nothing left. Wow, that worked perfect. So 3 full panels with a bottom per tube. Now we'll get this. I just want about a 1/4 inch gap. And then I'll shim this up and start putting in plastic caps. Okay. And I'm setting these just below the surface so they don't interfere with the plywood that's going to go over the top of this. I mentioned it before, but these work pants have a built-in loop for a pocket to put nails or whatever, but I always forget to use it, and I'm not exactly sure where it is right now. I'll have to remedy that. Keep it on hand. All right, now figure out the exact center of the stud, and these studs are all nice and plumb, so yeah, I wish I didn't have to run to town, but I can get a good deal more of this in before I have to do that. And then I will finish it up when I get back. Just can't let it go until tomorrow because the weather is going to be really bad in 2 days. This panel is fairly warped. which happens with this XPS, but not a big deal. We'll flatten it out right now. So we have the split line right there. I'm going to go right above that. And right above the next one down. And then about 4 inches up from the bottom. And then one in the center. Yeah, these, if you hit something hard with these plastic caps, they will just collapse and bend over. Beautiful. Now, go back over it and press it into the glue. These plastic caps are pushed into the foam. So when I press this into the glue, it's basically going to stay there. It's going to spread the glue out. While it's getting hot in here, I have my normal winter work clothes on, which is a thermal shirt with a shirt over it. And the more of this foam I get in, the warmer it's getting. This glue is water-based, so no problems working it a little bit with your hands. Beautiful. All right. Now, one more panel will fit on both ends, but I have to get a cleat on this end first. And because I'm running to the store for that foam and plastic caps, I'll just pick up a 2x2 while I'm there. Well, two 2x2s, and I'll use that there. Yeah, I can just leave that whole area for now. Good, good, good. All right, I cut my end pieces, and I was thinking it's nearly 2 o'clock. I better just run to town right now, get my glue and plastic caps and stuff, and get back here before it gets dark instead of driving in the dark. So I'm going to go do that, and I will meet you back here in about 2 hours. All right, it turns out that my wife is heading to town instead of me, so I can get a lot more of this done. What I did off camera was get the cord out. The cord went through here, and the same thing on the other side, and that's running the furnace. So it can't be unplugged, but it can't be where it is. All right, I got to pull this nail, trim them shims, and then we'll get this piece in. And this other side, oh, I need the blocking for that. So once I get that one in, I'll cut this blocking. I went across the street and pulled out some stock for the blocking as well. I'll have to yank the saw out and a bunch of other stuff. It's going to take a long time to get all that stuff in just to do this, but it is what it is. Let's get this one in real quick. Alright, before I get too far ahead of myself, I got this panel in, then I moved the machinery around and got that blocking cut, and I nailed that in place all the way up, and then got this panel in place. This panel is next. It's split in half lengthwise, but it's a full panel lengthwise as well. What I'm doing is centering it on the stud. Should be centered on this as well. I'm going to take my marker, make a mark on both ends at the bottom, and then mark the studs along the top, pull that off, glue on the studs, that PL300. Then, once that glue's in place, I'll take the Great Stuff expanding foam and put a nice bead along the whole edge here. Then set this into that, kind of like mortar, and nail it in place. The next panel going this way is going to have a little bit trimmed off. I want it to hit, like right about here on the stud, and it's going to be about there on this stud. So just this panel will be trimmed, and then the next one's going to go into the door opening, so that can be whatever length it wants to be, and I'll cut it off at the door. Same thing with this. Then I just got to do the two ends and the second roll will be done. All right, like I said, I cut a little bit off the end of this one so that I have room to put foam in. Unfortunately, I kind of screwed up this one and don't have enough room here, so I'm going to do like I did here. I'm going to foam this edge and foam the bottom edge before I put this in, and it'll squeeze out like that. Once this whole thing's done, I'm going to trim all this stuff flush, and then I'm going to tape the seams. This is going to be, for the most part, airtight. All right, let me get a couple in, and then I'll get back with you. I'll probably finish this row and then get back with you. It's going to be a good deal harder to do the next row because I'll be doing it on the ladder. Hopefully I can use the small ladder for the next row, but for that top row, I'm going to have to use a big ladder, and it gets real tiring going up and down that ladder, especially when I got to move it for every row of nails. Okay, let me get this in. All right, I almost have this second row done. This is just sitting over the doorway to keep the heat in. Almost have it done. I just have this last piece here, but I have that much glue left, and my wife isn't back yet. The sun's almost down, so what I'm going to do is just go walk the dogs and call it a day. I may come out here later, but I doubt it. I'll just come out here tomorrow and finish this up. So I will see you then.